Today, this is the Tech Genie, and I'm doing a quick review on a Huawei Mate SE smartphone. It's pretty much a mid-range Android phone, and it's actually a pretty nice one. So let me go and show you what comes in the box. They do have the phone right over here because I've been using it. But let's just go what else you get inside the box. You pretty much get only really two things here. You do get your USB cable. And you do get a 2-amp charger with it, which is pretty much a fast charger, or their version of it. You can see right there. SIM tray remover right here. And that's pretty much about it. So we'll go and put this aside. And we'll get into the review. This here is probably one of the best mid-range phones I tried, at least for the price. You're paying $225 at Best Buy currently in the US right now. This phone's only been released about 5 days ago. It's a dual SIM. It's only a standby SIM though. It's not a dual active, so those that need to know that. But dual active cell phones are pretty rare. There's only like 1% of them on the market, so it's not that many of them anyway. Most people don't need it. You're getting 64 gigs of internal memory, which is pretty good. So when you're running dual SIM, you're not limited to like most dual SIM phones where they only give you 8 gigs of internal memory. You actually have 64 gigs already on board, so you don't have to modify one slot to try to go ahead. Because the problem is it does got an SD slot. If you're using the dual SIM, you won't be able to put the SD slot with the dual SIM in there. So you can only use it either in dual SIM mode, or you have to use one SIM and then one SD card to expand the memory. But good thing about it is they give you a lot of internal memory on this phone. Also, the other thing too is this phone's based on the Honor 7 pretty much, which is another version of it, and they did some improvements on the memory, so now you're getting 4 gigs of RAM besides just the 64 gigs of internal memory. So you're getting a lot of RAM, and you're also getting pretty much a lot of internal memory. So that's why I said this is probably one of the best bangs for the buck smartphone, especially at this price. So let's go in here. Okay, real quick. And then we'll go over the specs here real quick. Here you go. Got some ad popping up because I'm using ZPUC. Okay. And here you go. It's based off 8-core ARM Cortex A53 chipset. It's actually a current 650 is what they call it. And you're pretty much getting 4 high-performance cores which run at 2.36 gigahertz. And then you're getting 2 lower-performance cores which run at around 1709 megahertz. So you're getting pretty good processing power out of this phone. So even in low power, you're still getting a lot of performance out of this phone. Not only that too, GPU, it's using a Mailer T830, which you can see right there. Here, let's go over the temperature pretty much. And this is one thing I love about this phone. You can run this thing all day with many different apps and stuff, and this phone does not get very warm to the touch at all. It's actually quite surprising on how cool this phone stays while you're running it, because it really doesn't get very hot. It doesn't lag. I haven't noticed any noticeable lag, especially when casting videos or watching YouTube videos or doing text messages or whatever. It runs flawlessly, and I'm quite shocked on how well this phone performs compared to even some other higher end phones which I use, which usually get hot to the touch and then they start lagging very badly, or they just get to the point to even like for certain LGs and certain other phones where you can't even use them. They become unusable after you start running multiple videos and so forth. This phone handles it like a champ. The other nice thing about it is, and we'll go over that right now, is the fact that you get, and this is one thing that separates low-end phones from a lot of higher-end phones, is the fact where they cut corners is on the sensor. This here, you're getting a gyroscope, you're getting a magnetic sensor, so you can use compass app and so forth, a accelerometer. You're getting a lot of sensors on this phone that they didn't cut corners on, where on certain phones like the J7 or other phones, this is where they normally cut corners. They give you a lower resolution screen. They don't put all the sensors in, so you can't really use a compass app. You can't really use GPS apps and stuff properly and stuff like that, because they cut corners and didn't put those sensors on there, and that's how they get to that price point. This here for $229, you're getting most of your sensors you need. Cameras are pretty decent. I mean, I'll go and show you pretty much, but the quality of it, it's pretty good for what you get. I mean, the camera is really nice on this thing, and it's very quick to open. And you can literally hold these two buttons if you have fights, and the camera pops right on, and you can capture fights or whatever that's on the street. So if you have this phone out on the go, just hit these two side buttons there, and your camera will pop right up. That's what's nice too. So it got quick access, so you can get your camera app going, and it's ready to go. So do I highly recommend this phone? Yes, I do. It's a really good phone at a great price. You have to spend a lot more money to get something as capable of it. Sure, on the high-end phones you get a faster processor and a faster CPU a little bit, but you're getting pretty good power out of this phone. You're getting a mid-range performance, which doesn't seem like it's mid-range. It actually didn't lag on me at all, which was nice, and I was running multiple apps, casting, messaging, and everything else, and it didn't really show down or show any signs of lag. And that's what I like about this phone, is you're getting at the price of $225, and there's really nothing on the market right now that compares to this phone, because you're getting dual SIMs, you're getting 64 gigs of internal memory, 4 gigs of RAM, and the phone has pretty much all the sensors you need, so you can run GPS, you can run map applications and everything else with no problem. And then you're getting a 1080p display, which looks pretty nice on high brightness, and colors look pretty accurate and so forth. Now let's go over the back of the phone pretty much, and you notice one thing. They did copy Apple on this design. It's clear as day. You can see the antenna lines, or what seems to be the antenna lines right there. Your dual rear cameras right there. Your fingerprints, and that's one thing I do like about this phone. You just touch it, it's on. It has one of the quickest fingerprint scanners on most phones that I've seen. They even copied the pin-to-loop screws on the bottom, which might be a good thing, because that means you might be able to lift the screen off and replace the battery down the future and stuff like that. It does seem to be sturdy enough. I'm not going to do any bend test or anything. There's other YouTubers that already do that, and they're pretty good at that, so I'll leave that to them. But overall, I highly recommend this phone, and I highly recommend that you buy one if you're looking not to spend over $1,000 on a high-end phone, but you want a phone that's pretty capable and you want it for a reasonable price. This is the guy to buy. So thank you, and I'll be doing more reviews in the future of various different cell phones.